Hi, everybody.
I've been an entrepreneur forever. There's something here. I like it. So just do
Still?
it, man. You just do
Yeah.
it. And, that's it. $688,000 of units in a single day. 0 to 110K a month in a matter of see what is going to make them purchase, what's going to make them click that button. I know thousands of businesses that exist because Amazon support is terrible. How to be successful on Amazon.
Hi, everybody. It's WAPI Webinars again with you. I'm super glad to have my new guest, Hristo Arakliev, with me today. Hi, Hristo.
Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing, Alex?
Yeah, I'm very good. What about you?
Perfectly fine. Never better,
That's
man.
that's super great. Thank you very much for joining us. For those who see Hristo for the first time, he's COO at Hyperzon. He got involved in e-com marketing 7 years and then founded Hyperzon 5 years ago. Hristo became an expert on this and started working for a second-hand fashion startup that ended up selling for 28 million euro. Wow. So I hope you got a big share of it, of this bunch of money.
Well, not at the time, unfortunately. Not at the time. But still, my time is now. Don't worry. I got discovered.
Cool, cool. So, Hristo, can you tell us about yourself, your journey? Did you start e-commerce since you're 10 years old, or you were doing something else? And how did you come to e-com world?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, my journey started like 7 years ago when I was working for that slow fashion company, actually, and doing direct marketing for them. But before that, as an entrepreneur, I've done so many crazy stuff. I had my gourmet burger chain at some point. I
Wow.
had a craft beer business. I was producing craft beer, and that was very exciting. We were apart from locally producing craft beer. I was also doing the so-called gypsy brewing. So we were brewing in
Mhm.
different breweries around the world and producing, different beers, it was super cool,
Super. So
custom.
you were starting like entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been an entrepreneur forever. After every failed business, I started some job for just like 5, 6 months until I until I come up with the next weird and crazy thing and just throwing myself into it until I made it work.
But then you decided to move to a fashion brand as a marketing specialist.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, this is
And
interesting. That's not usual shift from entrepreneurship.
yeah,
How did they persuade you to do this?
well, I thought it's a cool idea. Actually, my girlfriend was working there, and she attracted me. She was like, "It's a very cool place, etc., etc." And at the end of the day, you know yourself that being great at marketing at the end pays off. So I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to throw myself into it and see if I can make it work." So I learned a lot of things working for that brand. And afterwards, I started my own marketing agency. And then I got exposed to Amazon a couple years later. And I was like, okay, there's something here. I like it. So, you know, since then, I've been doing basically almost only Amazon. And it has worked great at the end. It was my thing. I stuck with it. And now I have a team of more than 40 people, a couple of offices. We're being recognized. They're inviting us to big shows. So I mean, it's great.
Cool. But on this journey, did you sell your goods on Amazon?
Yeah, sold my goods as well. I
Yeah,
mean,
because
I think everyone needs to be able to sell their goods apart from being just a
yeah,
specialist.
yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like, it's different. You need to be in the trenches. You need to keep your hand
Cool.
on the pulse to see.
Cool. That's super interesting journey. So today we will talk about expanding from just running traffic to your website, where just is actually very interesting. I
Super
think
simple.
I think it's not super
It's
simple
you
to
know,
run traffic to your website, but
you just do
still,
it, man. You know, you just do
yeah.
it, and that's it.
So we're talking about expanding from just running traffic to your website to marketplaces like Amazon.
Okay.
And I know that you have prepared the presentation for us, so
Yeah, I'm
please
gonna
share
go
it and
ahead.
stage is yours.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, absolutely. Hyperzone,
Perfect.
Amazon Marketing Agency.
Yeah, that's what we're called, Hyperzon. So, yeah, that's myself. We've already covered that, so we can move to the good stuff. So basically, in Hyperzone, like I mentioned, we are already more than 40 people, and we are a full-scale Amazon marketing agency. We focus on helping D2C brands who are already crushing it on their own website, no matter how they're driving the traffic. We help them expand to Amazon, and our promise is that 10 to 12 months starting to work together, we're going to match their website sales. So we're basically doubling their business. I'd say it's a pretty good promise. I don't know. What do you
Yeah,
think, Alex?
I think it's a great one.
Yeah.
Especially if there is a big amount of traffic on the website, not just few sales per year.
Yeah. So this is what we specialize in. We've also, a few months back, we got this strategic partnership with John Hefter, previously a co-founder of Trasio. He, he saw potential in us. He really thinks that Hyperzone is going in the right direction. So he got on our board of directors, and he's been helping us since, which has been very nice, showing us the right way.
Oh, he will be with us next time, yeah?
Yeah, maybe. It's a good idea, actually. We should do a mutual one. So, how I've built this presentation is the following way. We are going to be going through problem and solution for some of the brands we have worked with and are currently working with. And for, in order to protect our clients, there are not going to be any actual brands in that presentation. All the results are real, but we are going to be using some generic images just to showcase, because these are very current results and we don't want to disclose our clients' brands or products, because Amazon could be tricky. People, whenever they see a successful product, they jump right into it.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know that you were just changing it because
yeah,
you first made the real
I
pictures and
first
then
was like,
understood you have to change it.
maybe we should have it there, and they were like, no, it's not a good idea. I've seen so many horror stories, man. I mean, you show someone a
Okay.
product, million people are like calling the Chinese, and all of a sudden they're up there.
Not yet million viewers at the WAPI webinars, but I hope so after our video.
Hopefully, for sure. So without further ado, let me tell you about this pet supplies brand. It's a very innovative company, cutting edge patented technology that leads to immaculate clean and hair-free homes. So actually, the first one doesn't have any specific problem to it, but I wanted to show you what Prime Day can bring if you play your cards right. So we've been working with this brand since the launch of it on Amazon. It was, here is written beginning of last year. It was more, we've been working for probably a year and a half with them. But basically, we brought them from zero, because we started from scratch, to more than 1 million a month. But we didn't stop there. We wanted to see, where do we get with this brand? So for Prime Day, we prepared properly, and we applied for all the deal slots on Prime Day and set the minimum commitment units. As Prime Day went by, we monitored how much the deals were claimed, and we increased the number of available units during the event. So when we saw that they were getting close to 80%, we increased the number of units, and thus creating a scarcity effect. We also made a special banner creatives with biggest sale of the year slogans, which led to the current deals, and we bombarded both our branded and non-branded keywords with them. Another cool thing we did is retargeted all the visitors that have visited but not purchased our ASINs, both with sponsored display and DSP ads. So they were basically seeing us all over the place. And we used Prime exclusive discounts when we didn't have the active deals to get a Prime Day deal batch on all our products. So as you can see on these examples here, the peak for Prime Day, apart from already selling 1 million a month, was crazy. And we ended up selling $688,000 of units in a single day.
But what was the budget for this day? For
the budget for this day, I have to check specifically, but I think it was something in the sorts of 80 some thousand.
Okay.
I mean, it was great for us. Honestly, we expected to do less than that, but after everything we did, things exploded. Another cool thing is that actually Amazon decided to put this brand on their Prime Day catalog that they sent to all the sellers, which was, you know, very cool. We didn't have to, you know, convince anyone to do it. They just took that brand and put it there. So I guess this resulted in great sales. So the second case study I want to show you is about aromatherapy and scent diffusers. These are fragrance trailblazers specializing in HVAC systems. These are basically all the air conditioners and similar products. They're creating large and mini aroma diffusers for personal and commercial use, and their luxury aroma oils are inspired by premium perfumes and 5-star hotels. So I wanted to show you here just in the beginning where we start working with them, and they were doing around 20K a month. And after we've been working with them for a few months, things started looking great. And I'm going to show you the results in a minute. But first, let me show you what problem we had. It was a very specific problem, actually. The niche is very Chinese competitive, and most of the competitors had better reviews than our client. Better price, better images, and better rating. So why purchase our product at the end of the day? Well, what we did is, you know, not always more is more. Sometimes less is more. And we were like, okay, let's think outside of the box. What we did is we removed one of the options from the product, which everyone was complaining it had issues, both on our and on the competitors' listing. So everybody was like, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. And fortunately for us, this was like the most expensive part in our product. So what happened is we were able to position our product much lower than the competitors because we removed that part, and now the product is cheaper all of a sudden. So less problems, better price. We made new manuals which explain in detail how to use the product, so there aren't any confusions at all. We added a bonus product inside, a free bottle of aroma oil, and we showed on Amazon that it is included in the box, which is important for the customers. And we subscribed to a new beta Amazon program where we get an additional Get Product Support button right inside Amazon, from where we incentivize customers to contact us first instead of leaving a bad review or returning the product. This is a deal breaker. Everyone should do it, honestly, because when they're looking for a solution, they start chatting with us like they're on our own website instead of actually complaining to Amazon. It's very interesting. So the rating and the reviews were bad, and the packaging and images didn't look premium compared to the other products when we started working with our clients. We fully rebranded the products and packaging, made new listings, and applied with all the listings for Vine. After that, we combined all the scents into a variation, thus making the listings with more than 200 great reviews. Then we started targeting our small size bottles of oils with the larger ones, thus making upsells this way. So, you know, everybody's telling you that you cannot do many things on Amazon, but if you are creative enough, you can definitely do a lot of stuff. And here again, where we started working with them and how the sales exploded, ending up with 135K a month currently. So it's 440% increase in sales in a matter of few months with these changes that, to be honest, many people wouldn't think of doing. They're going to be stuck with the good old way of thinking without thinking what is the thing that actually makes difference for your clients. And sometimes it's just removing something that makes issues for everyone. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Less is more. And
Less
tell
is
me,
more.
please, this cases that you share with us today, this is a US marketplace?
US marketplace, yeah. I'm going to show you only US marketplace today.
Oh.
The most competitive marketplace at the end of the day,
Yeah.
because, you know, Europe is still much easier. As long as you find a trendy product that is better than the rest, it's a bit like the old days for some niches. In the US, you have to compete with so many different factors because trust me, there are going to be like 1,000 products like yours. So you need to differentiate somehow. All right, let's jump right into the third case study, which is for products in the feminine hygiene niche. It's an emerging brand focused on providing innovative intimate care and period products specifically designed for tweens. For people that don't know what tweens are, I didn't as well when we started working with these guys. Tweens are younger girls or boys, in this case girls, which are between the age of 8 and 12. So this is before they become teenagers, actually. And it seems that in the US, some African American women and Hispanic women have their period earlier than most other kids. And these are paths to prepare them for their most important day in life. Or one of the most important days, let's say. If you're a girl, definitely an important day. So the problem we had is the brand is selling teen period kits and tween pads. They have worked before with an agency, but their product didn't really start selling as they didn't even launch it because of compliance issues, which was crazy. I mean, anyway, so we moved past that, and the solutions we applied were the following. So we worked closely with them and reviewing all the documentation if they matched Amazon's criteria in order to allow them to sell this product. We implemented an initial review strategy with the help of fine reviewers. We introduced single pads as single products and started pushing the customers of the kits towards subscribing to the single products of the kit. And we created great visuals that really stand out when placed next to the competitors. I'm going to be going over and over about the good visuals in this presentation because good visuals and branding go a long way. And what we did at the end was bombarding all the competitors very heavily with ads on all available placements. So there is just no way for us not to be seen and noticed. Again, no huge budgets, just pinpointing the right competitors, the right keywords. As you can see, we started working here. They were barely selling anything. And guess we are currently. We were able to get them from basically zero to 110K a month in a matter of
and
few
this
months.
Is, I just look at the months. It is exactly what's happening since April this year.
Yeah.
Cool. That's super cool. That's up-to-date cases, guys. Up-to-date.
Up-to-date. And if people are going to ask about the ROAS, which is something you asked earlier, so how much did we spend to get here? Well, you can see that we're fairly profitable. 4.5 ROAS. So basically it costs around $8 to acquire a new customer for non-branded keywords. Just want to stress on that because many people are like, oh, you're only selling on the branded keywords and stuff. Well, yeah, this is something that you must be doing for sure, but the non-branded keywords is where your Amazon specific bugs come from. So the last case study I'm going to be sharing with you today is about self-care journals. So we're working with a very dedicated company. They're crafting science-backed, accessible, and impactful mental health products to support emotional well-being. The problem they had was they had an amazing December, making almost 100K in sales, as their product is a great Christmas gift, I have to say, but sales dropped to less than 60K in January and to just a little bit over 20K in February, which is very underwhelming, as you can tell. So this is when they contacted us and we started working on the account. The problems were similar to most of the brands we work with. They had a great product, but their presence in Amazon wasn't that good at all. They had received quite a lot of bad reviews from December and the January sales. The images were also not satisfactory and did not give buyers the information why those journals are more expensive and what they contain at the end of the day. So the solution we applied is because their products are real self-help journals made by real psychologists, we put a customer support review strategy in place where we communicated with the buyers that if they need additional help with using the journal, they can always contact us. That way, we turned those potential negative reviews into great positive ones. We made new main images showing some of the pages inside the journal so people can see the content and quality and that it is not just a fancy notebook, but much more than that. And we also started bundling our products and targeting our own single products. That way, a lot of people decided to purchase the bundles instead of the single ones, which increased our average order value, which again is something that people claim cannot be achieved on Amazon, but it's actually very important to increase your average order value even on Amazon, and there are a few ways to do that. So as you can see, after the peak, we started working with them when the things were not looking great, and now we are at 49K and targeting 65K this month. And I'm 100% sure that in Q4, we're going to hit at least 250K compared to their 100K last year. So I'm going to be updating you on that one.
So you're searching for the key points, like scaling points, right? You're defining like 1, 2, 3 scaling points on the project, on the case. And then you're working a lot exactly on these points to improve them. And this gives you the growth.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And again, we also make mistakes. What I'm trying to say is if we pinpoint 6 reasons, maybe 2 of them are not going to bring us results. But the thing is that the other 4 are going to make up for these. So the thing is to think, sit down, really put yourself into the end client's shoes and see what is going to make them purchase, what's going to make them click that button, buy now button, because, it comes to that. Not sit down, and you don't have to think that much from your perspective rather than the client's perspective to really understand what they're lacking in the product.
So probably you had cases when you defined the point where you will scale and it didn't work. And that's why you're now defining not even 3, you say up to 6, because you know that some scale points would not work, but some of them will work definitely.
Absolutely.
This is the idea.
We need to minimize the risk and test out. This is it's like marketing overall, test. The most successful marketers are the ones that test the most creatives, the one that make the most ad campaigns, the one that really go the long way of testing out as much ideas as possible.
So because our topic is about shifting from traffic on your website to marketplaces, can you tell us the main differences between getting traffic to your website and marketplaces?
Yeah, I'll be happy to do so. So basically, the marketplace has its own traffic in the first place. Then you can always drive traffic to your listings, don't get me wrong, but it usually doesn't make too much sense as you end up paying twice, once to the marketplace and once to the ad platform. So in that sense, I would definitely prioritize driving traffic to my own website, no doubt about that, for starters.
So you think to start, go with your website, and only when you start to do some sales after that, step number 2, go to marketplaces.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Can you tell like in more details why you think the strategy is better? Because a lot of people think that bringing traffic to your website is much more complicated than making a listing on the marketplace and go for the traffic there.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not. Because, you know, when you're sending traffic to your own website, you send people down your funnel and they're focusing only on your brand. And they see only your brand the whole way. So you put them through that journey, so they end up buying your brand. Whenever you're selling to Amazon, it's a comparison website to a big extent. And you compare with everyone price-wise, brand-wise, like creative-wise, everything. And they're comparing you to other products. So it's much more difficult to differentiate yourself on Amazon, and it's much cheaper to make your mistakes running traffic to your own website. Because in your own website, you can change creatives, you can change price, you can try this and that. Like Amazon is much slower in this stuff, and it's gonna cost you a lot more money to test directly on Amazon compared to testing on your own website in 2023. I mean, Amazon is not what it used to be 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. I mean, can you be successful starting from Amazon? Yeah, of course, but you need to be very knowledgeable, very experienced, and I don't recommend it to someone who is just getting started, because it's going to end up costing you more money.
That's a great tip.
Yeah. The only products I would go to if I want to start from Amazon are some like super trendy products that are upcoming. And if you're one of the first to get there, you can maybe position yourself well so that you can start making sales on Amazon. In any other case, if you have a product that's more of an evergreen, I recommend running traffic to your own website, make your mistakes, it's going to be much cheaper, and then move to Amazon as a secondary channel.
Cool, but at the same time, you believe in Amazon. So
I believe in Amazon.
What are the benefits of selling on Amazon versus driving traffic to your website?
Well, the obvious benefits are you don't need to have your own warehouse with quantities when you are on Amazon, because you use their FBA. You don't need to drive traffic to your products, actually. You just need to catch the attention of the people that are already on Amazon. Easy, right? Well, not quite. I'd say that the multi-channel strategy is the best way to go if you ask me. I mean, I wouldn't go for either Amazon or my own website, but I would just kind of create a strategy on where to start from. But at the end, I want to be exposed on as many channels as possible. Just don't do it at the same time. I don't recommend doing it at the same time.
One after another.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching our webinars. I hope you like it. So my company WAPI is creating all of this, and I'll take my chance and tell you a little bit more about WAPI. If you're selling something, for example, you're selling wonderful sunglasses, you live in Italy and the Italian market is full of your sunglasses and everybody is very happy. So now you want to go global, you want to go international. So what you need to find the right sales channel, and then you need to send all these products to your customers. That's where WAPI comes in. We have integrated a huge amount of sales channels. We have huge amount of partners, service providers in e-com that will help you to expand to any country where you want. Send us an email, ask your question. Our key account manager will help you to grow your business to a new level. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you that you subscribe and stay tuned.
Okay, and what are the biggest challenges you face on selling at Amazon?
Whew, don't start me on that. Well, first,
list like this, yes? A big list.
Yeah. Challenges on Amazon, man. There are too many. Not having reviews for starters. When you're getting started, this is the biggest one for sure. You're no one on Amazon. Then sending your stock on the Amazon FBA warehouse could be a pain itself. Honestly, just registering an account on Amazon could be a huge headache these days. They are very big on security and due diligence, so all of your documentation needs to be intact. Don't be in a haste. Take your time. Everything needs to match. Believe it or not, in the past few years, I had to fix so many accounts that were suspended or just they're not allowing them to sell on Amazon because the documents they provide don't match. Like they sell one at one address, another with one. The name is slightly different here and there, and Amazon is not happy with that. Everything needs to match. This is very important. Yeah. Then something else is competing with all the other products on the platform is very difficult with little space to differentiate or push the price up a lot. Also, people need to do everything according to Amazon's rules when they're on Amazon. And it's very hard to get enough visibility, actually, aka ranking your products on Amazon to spots where people can actually see your products. I mean, all of these are very difficult to achieve, and you need to know what you're doing to get there.
So you mentioned already several times the huge competition on Amazon. So how do you compete if there is like red ocean over there?
Oh, I can talk here whole day. Well, there are actually various ways in which you can compete on Amazon. Some are super straightforward, like get more reviews than the others, whereas others aren't as obvious. For example, you always need to strive to create the best possible experience for your clients. One example is whenever they receive the product you send them, the experience when they open the box needs to be unique and make them want to become repeat customers. No matter if it's the message or the design or some extra value you provide, you want to be unique so that they can remember you and the experience they had with your brand, so they come back and purchase again. You need to strive to differentiate from the competition with your images, especially your main image. One thing that works on Amazon is having a zoomed in image of your product so that you can cut it in a way that it takes as much of the allowed image frame as possible. This way, when people scroll on their mobile phones, it immediately attracts their attention. You know what I mean? Like you fill in the whole frame. It's something that works very well compared to having a tiny little image of your product in the middle. Another thing to try is add a few extra elements to your main image, maybe something related with the ingredients. People are going to ask, is that according to Amazon's terms of services? Not exactly, but as long as you're subtle about it, you can get away with it. One thing that has the biggest leverage and barely anyone in the Amazon space is talking about is building a brand and creating a brand awareness outside of Amazon and then hitting Amazon hard. I'm going to get back to that topic I just covered. So this gives you a huge advantage because compared to the brands which are counting only on Amazon as a channel and Amazon's traffic, you get in a league of your own sometimes, as people are already aware of your brand if you're already selling it through your own website. This initial boost in sales leads to more early reviews, leads to more exposure as you're getting some outside traffic from the get-go. So I'd say that, again, focus on building a brand, run traffic to your own website, and then Amazon is a huge benefit to expanding and doubling your business once you've already created something that you have proof that it's working. Because if you want to gain that proof on Amazon, it's going to cost you a lot more. And I'm sure of that.
So even though you're saying that the right strategy, and one of the right strategies is to build your own shop and build the brand awareness outside of Amazon first and then go to Amazon, probably the companies that go this way, they have their own challenges. Like what
Of
are the
course.
challenges for
Of
D2C
course.
brands and they face when expanding beyond their own website?
Oh, there are multiple challenges. For example, I've noticed that when people create a successful brand and those money start rolling in, they more or less forget where they started from and expect everything to come easily to them. No friction, no stress. Everybody loves them now and their product, and they're like the best, right?
Okay.
Well, sorry to break it to you, but Amazon doesn't care if your brand is generating 5K a month or 5 million a month. They treat you the same way, and trust me, you're not going to like their way. Sellers on Amazon are being treated in the worst possible way. Amazon cares about their clients, which they presume to be the end buyers. This makes your whole Amazon journey a lot more troublesome and nasty. So the first challenge would be registering on Amazon, uploading your products to the platform and dealing with all of the bureaucracy that goes along with it. So, I mean, prepare.
Prepare for the
and
worst.
and then the fun starts. Yeah, it's not very funny to anyone who's been there, honestly, but you barely get any support from Amazon. You're left out there in the jungle on your own and need to survive. So you'd better have a good team of experts on your side, honestly. I mean, it's selling on Amazon is not easy. That's what I'm trying to say. And again, this is towards brands which are crushing it. Again, they're making sales already to their website. Don't expect Amazon to be all roses and butterflies. It's, even if you're already popular outside of it, it's not. I mean, it's a completely different beast.
So you mentioned the experts. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of working with an agency who can help you versus building your own team and to manage third-party platforms like Amazon?
Yeah, that's a great question, Alex. People ask me that a lot, actually. And like we've already discussed, I've been in the trenches for a while, and I'm going to share what some of my clients have disclosed with me, and not only what I think. And the advantages for them are speed in the first place, because you can start on a platform like Amazon with a jump start if you work with someone that knows what he's doing and has an established process for it. It gives you time to get familiar with the platform without the stress of throwing yourself into the unknown. Even if you hire people who have done it before, the chances of them having the process to replicate it are very slim, let alone the bandwidth. Also, it's going to be much cheaper in the beginning, as hiring people for something you don't have experience with could be really tricky. In my personal experience, as you don't have the right expectations, for the KPIs to set for those people. You need to count on them to manage themselves, which, if you agree with me, is not ideal.
So you suggest to go with an agency, but still you say that it is cheaper. Most of the people think that to start with the agency is much more expensive.
Well, it might come as expensive at some point in time when you're already making significant sales. But at the end of the day, to get there is not easy. I mean, you need to get there, and getting there is more difficult. Then once you're there, maybe you're paying a bit more for an agency for sure, but you at least know that you can count on them and they're going to fix everything for you. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all agencies out there are amazing and perfect and you need to start working with them all of a sudden. But if you select your partner carefully and you have someone you trust with proven records, etc., I think it's much better for you, and I'm going to tell you why it's better for you, because then what clients that are working with me share with me is that they can focus more on what they're good at, and this is driving traffic to their website through other channels which they're already experts in, and focusing on launching new products, compared to if they try to become experts in Amazon. It's going to take them years, and it's going to be very painful with a lot of headaches, and they're not going to be experts at the end as well, because Amazon is really difficult. You really need to dedicate to Amazon and understand it as a channel. It's just different. And if they've already have an established like experience running traffic through Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Google, why take the time investing all that time into learning a new channel as Amazon, where they can make much more money if they outsource it to someone? That's what I think. That's what I've seen.
Okay, and the question from the real life. So you have a broad portfolio of clients. So can you share with us what share of them are the clients that came when they had 0 sales on Amazon?
That's an interesting question. So you're asking me how many of our clients
had
like 0 sales
like
before
100% your turnover, and how big from it is approximately, just to understand it is a tiny part or it is a big part, the clients that came to you and at that point they had 0 sales on Amazon, so they didn't have an experience and they decided to go from scratch with an agency. So how big this part is in reality?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you exactly. Let me think. Around 25%.
25%.
Yeah,
So
maybe. No, it's more. Actually, it's more. It's more like 35%. Yeah.
So the biggest part comes that they already have made some mistakes, and
they've already broken their heads, and they were like, "Please save us from that pain."
Okay, that's interesting.
And the other ones were just cruising, easy life. No, seriously,
cool.
Amazon is a huge pain. I mean, I've been dealing with Amazon on a daily basis for years now, and even myself and my team have difficulties every now and then because Amazon is not giving us an easy time. I mean, it's just.
I think
I'm gonna give you an
becomes more complicated from day to day, no?
I mean, I know thousands of businesses that exist because Amazon support is terrible. Thousands of businesses because like Amazon suspends your account, it suspends your listing for no particular reason, and then you have to figure out what happened. And they're like literally lawyers and people you pay to that they fix your issue because Amazon is not answering you.
For
Or they
example, Amazon Prep Service, like the warehouses where you have to store. It is easier for you to store goods before Amazon at WAPI. You know where the goods, you have normal prices for storage, and when you want to send something particular to Amazon, you ask WAPI to please take this, and send it to the warehouse. So this is one of the examples of terrible support, because if it would be very smooth, nobody would use Amazon Prep services. They would just send the goods directly to the warehouse of Amazon. But it doesn't work like this. It has to work like this, but not always.
Yep, I agree with that.
And there is a strategy of drop shipping also, and I would like to hear from you what are the pros and cons of drop shipping versus building your own brand on Amazon.
So yeah, that's a good question. Well, obviously dropshipping, the pros of dropshipping are that you don't have to come up with an idea for a product. You don't need to look for someone to produce that product. You don't need to create a web site from scratch and branding from scratch. I mean, it's easier in the sense that you're already selling something that you have proof for, that people are searching for. You have proof this is something people like. They are already buying it, so you're like, okay, let's just run some traffic and show them that product that they already love. So in that sense, people prefer dropshipping because they don't need to have any stock in, they don't need to create a brand. I mean, and they start right away. They can start tomorrow. They just need to build a simple funnel and they can start. But over time, brands is, I'd say, much more valuable because you can sell your brand. Yeah, it's much more difficult to start. It's going to be difficult in the first year to convince people to buy your brand compared to other brands. It's going to be difficult to have a constant quality of the product, etc., etc. But it's worth it at the end because you can sell your brand for 7-10 times the EBITDA, and it's going to be worthwhile your time in a couple or 3 years down the line when you sell your brand.
So for those who start, would you suggest to start with dropshipping or not?
If they have never sold anything online, it might be a good idea to play with a little bit with dropshipping to see how things are done, because before making these same mistakes with their own brand, because they're going to see how the other brands are doing it. And the mistakes are not going to be entirely theirs to fix. This is the difference. They can only make a mistake on an ad level at this point, and otherwise, trust me, you can make mistakes on many levels.
Cool. So I have two more questions about e-commerce, and then we will go already till the finish of the podcast. So one will be, what else among marketplaces would you recommend to use? Which channels? Maybe something. So we discussed, we mentioned the marketplace, the Amazon, and your own website. Maybe you have ideas of other channels that people must use, something trendy. Give us some ideas.
Well, yeah, regarding marketplaces, Walmart has been trying to establish itself in the past few years as a player, but honestly, it has a long way to go. So invest time into it only as something nice to have for now, position there, and maybe in a few years, it might be worth something. Amazon is still the unprecedented leader in the marketplace space. And when it comes to your own websites, I'd recommend testing out every channel and find out which one brings the most bucks for the least investment. So if it's TikTok or Instagram or Google or whatever, just test different channels on your own website. Regarding marketplaces, yeah, I mean, Amazon is still the unprecedented winner there. The other ones are really tiny ones, and I don't think they're.
Don't forget about the local marketplaces in Europe. WAPI is pushing local marketplaces in Europe.
I agree, because we've been focusing more on the US. I agree with you, actually. There are some very cool local marketplaces in Europe, like Bo in the Netherlands and EMAG in Eastern Europe, Allegra,
EMAG, Kaufland, Cdiscount.
Kaufland. Yeah, there are many good actually options in Europe, but I wouldn't say there are too many in the US.
Yeah, this is why everybody wants to go to US, because it's very easy. You just go to Amazon, you get 60% of the market. It doesn't work like this in Europe. Europe is like twice bigger than US, like more than 700 million people. But if you want to reach them, you have to go to all the countries, all the languages, and all the marketplaces. So a little bit a tough way to go. So one very important question is Q4. So Q4 is time for earning money. Everybody is waiting for Q4. Give us some tips. How to earn maximum in Q4?
Oh, that's a good question. So in Q4, you need to prepare well, have enough stock, send the stock early enough, because Amazon every year is getting tougher and tougher to send stock in. I expect them to tell me that I need to send my stock in September to be there for Christmas these days, because I mean last year it was like 20th of October or something like that, and if you send your stock after that date, it's not people are not going to receive it for Christmas. Can you imagine? And every year this date is coming earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be in the summer in a few years from now. So you need to prepare some proper stock. So yeah, people, I think it's a good idea to move it to some warehouses like WAPI's warehouses, and then when the time is right, just send it to Amazon. They need to be very quick about it.
But can you change in the moment? Can you change from fulfilled by Amazon to fulfilled by merchant if
You can, yeah, absolutely, you can do it. So you definitely need to have stock in fulfilled by merchant warehouses as well.
The additional one, yes,
Additional ones.
to reduce the risk.
Absolutely. Also, apply for some lightning deals and other offers that Amazon are offering for Black Friday and Q4 in general. And this could be very beneficial for your brand. For some of the brands last year, we run these lightning deals for like 7 days before the Black Friday and after the Black Friday, and the sales just exploded because people are seeing you all the time everywhere.
Super cool. Something else?
Something else would be depending where you are in your game. Sometimes it might be worth for the big days to wait for the big players to spend their budget, and then get with high spend a little bit later throughout the day. This is one thing you can do. But if you're already making some significant sales, it might be worth it as well to let your competitors fight for the spots which are on your own listing. Because we have this case with the pet brand that I showed you. The bid is so high. The bid was so high in Q4 last year. It was like $2.50 per click that we just let them outbid themselves on our own listing. So our own product was not, we were not marketing it on our own listing, but they spent so much money. Then afterwards we waited for them and just outbid them later, and we bid it on their own listings, which was 5 times cheaper than bidding on our own listings when everybody was bidding on our own listings, which was crazy.
So you waited when their budget has ended.
Yeah.
That's
really
cool.
depends on who you're playing with. I mean, you need to be careful. But yeah, you need to be creative as well. You need to be creative, because sometimes it doesn't make sense to, just to get a position, to be paying for that position when it's not profitable at all. And on the other hand, there are other moments where you'd better spend more money even if you're not profitable, but you need to be profitable overall, because there's some placements that you absolutely need to be there just for someone else not to be there. I mean, as a marketer, you need to be very flexible.
Creative and testing a lot.
Testing a lot. That's
we got to that valuable
again.
Podcast. I like the amount of tips that you're sharing. It is absolutely crazy. Every 2 minutes you give us a new tip. So usually in the end of the podcast, I ask several questions. All of them are because usually people can't remember everything. So I ask you about one takeaway: how to be successful on Amazon, the short one.
How to be successful on Amazon.
Yeah.
Build a brand outside of Amazon, get to at least 300K a month, and then push Amazon hard. And if it's me, I mean, if you don't know Amazon, just use experts to grow it as a channel. But focus on building a brand, because it's gonna pay off at the end, because you can sell that brand. And if your brand is a multi-channel brand, they're gonna give you a much better multiplier than selling on just one channel.
Yeah, at one conference I heard wonderful saying that the harder is the beginning, the easier is the journey. The easier
Absolutely.
is the beginning, the harder will be the journey. So it's better to do your job at the beginning. That's
Yep.
what, like I hear what you're saying, like take
I
the hard
agree.
way, build your brand, and then you
Take
have
the
these.
hard way. Take the hard way. Build your brand and then reap the benefits.
Cool. One takeaway, what not to do, don't do this mistake. I saw it like 100 times. Everybody is doing it. Don't do this.
Okay. Well, don't waste time becoming an expert in Amazon. You don't have a second life, right? If you have a
Okay.
second life, maybe do it. Don't start on Amazon as a first sales channel. Don't expect to succeed on Amazon if you do everything by the book.
Wow.
And if you want some do's, get there when you already have some brand awareness. Differentiate in your images, branding, and price approach. Use the honeymoon period, which is around 60 days, to position yourself the best way possible on Amazon when you're getting started, because it helps a lot.
Super, super. You're like a machine gun of tips for Amazon sellers. Like so much info. So, and the last question usually is general, already not about e-commerce. So, one takeaway: how to be successful in life in general.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna share with you a few things from my experience and something that I live by. So first thing is gonna be never step on your principles or disregard them, as this will ultimately make you feel miserable.
Wow.
The second thing is work out as much as you can, possibly every day. That's what I do. And something that many people don't talk about, but honestly, don't put a facade when meeting with new people. Just be yourself. And if they don't like you, they're not your tribe. I mean, but if they do like you, you've just found yourself a new friend. That's what I say.
Super cool. Super cool.
And last one, smile more.
That's what we're doing with you, all the podcasts.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like this one very much. Thank you, Hristo.
Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you that you subscribe and stay tuned. Good luck!